record on time.
All right, we're going to start at 7. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Board of Commissioners meeting, this September 26th, 2023. I'm pleased tonight that we have Reverend Kathy Morris, who's here. She will be providing our invocation, and she is from Wesley Chapel United Methodist Church. Following our invocation, we'll have Deputy McPhee, and he will be providing our pledge. For those of you willing and able, please stand again for our invocation and pledge.
Let us pray. Almighty God, we give you thanks for this day. We give you thanks for the opportunities that we have to gather together. We pray that you would bless this commission, that you would continue to be with us. We are so grateful to be part of this county and part of this country. We pray for our leaders. We pray that you will continue to help them and to give them grace upon grace and always wisdom coupled with mercy. We ask that you would continue to help us to make wise decisions for the building up of your kingdom. We give you thanks for the completion of Yom Kippur and for the celebration of holiness that has recently completed. And we ask this all in God's name. Amen.
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 I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Reverend Morris and Deputy McPhee. Our meeting is now called to order. And before we dive into our presentations, Commissioners, we have a couple of non-agenda items to add to our presentations tonight. The first is to present a certificate of recognition to the Austell Community Task Force for initiating the construction of a bridge connecting the Drennan Avenue neighborhood to the Silver Comet Trail. Is there a motion to add this to the presentations tab?
I make a motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Yes, we do have discussion.
I'd like the clerk to note my statement as found on page 291 of the current agenda.
Thank you, Commissioner. And same for Commissioner Burrell. We can add her statement. No problem. All right, Commissioners, any other questions or comments? Call the question. The motion carries 5-0. We also have another agenda item non-agenda item to add, which is to present a certificate of recognition to the Austell Community Task Force to help and create the Riverside Neighborhood Community Garden. Is there a motion to add this?
I make a motion to add it to the agenda item.
All right.
Second.
Any discussion? Call the question. The motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Commissioners. With that, we'll get started with our first presentation for the night, which is to present a proclamation to Georgia Highlands College. Those who are here for this proclamation, please join us and Commissioner Burrell up front. Thank you.
Come on up. Good evening, everyone. I have the honor tonight of proclaiming September 28th as Georgia Highlands College Day in Cobb County in honor of our new president, Mr. Hobbs, here to my left. And Ken Reeves is also with us, who is the campus dean. And Mike Hobbs is the new president. So, whereas Georgia Highlands College was founded in 1970 as Floyd Junior College on a single campus in Rome, Georgia, and initially enrolled 545 students. And whereas Georgia Highlands College now serves thousands of students throughout the Northwest Georgia region at 5 separate campuses and sites in Rome, Cartersville, Marietta, and Dallas, with a regional economic impact of nearly $170 million. And whereas Georgia Highlands College is fully accredited state college within the University System of Georgia, offering more than 40 areas of study in both the associate and baccalaureate degree levels at one of the most affordable rates in the state. And whereas Mike Cobb's PhD began his duties as the 5th president of Georgia Highlands College on July 1st, 2022. Georgia Highlands College will hold an inauguration and investiture ceremony for President Hobbs at the Floyd Campus Gymnasium on September 28, 2023. Now, therefore, we, the Cobb County Board of Commissioners, congratulate President Hobbs and designate September 28, 2023 as Georgia Highlands College Day in Cobb County in honor of President Hobbs' inauguration and investiture. This is the 26th day of September, Cobb County Board of Commissioners. Congratulations. You want to say a few words?
Sure. Oh, you want to take a picture? Okay, yeah. Ken, you should be in the picture.
Yes. Ken, get up.
Ken, get in the picture.
Commissioner, do you
I'll
want to?
send you a
Commissioner, we're going to be centered.
Oh, yeah, that was a great idea.
Get in the center.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for letting me say a few words. First of all, I'm honored to be here and honored to be presented with this. Georgia Highlands is a special place in my heart. I've spent about 20 years in the Alabama system and retired from there and came here and took this position. But the thing that I found when I came here was the love and passion that we have in Northwest Georgia is amazing, especially the way we've been welcomed in Marietta. At our campus here, we've already grown over 500 students, and this is just our second year in existence. And one of the things I always like to talk about is, we're part of the University System of Georgia. There's 26 colleges in the USG. There's the research institutions, UGA, Georgia Tech, the state universities, Kennesaw State, West Georgia, those schools. And then Georgia Highlands is called an access college. And what an access college means is several things. Is that one, we're $95 a credit hour versus the $300 and $500 a credit hour. And two, about 70% of our students receive some type of federal aid or scholarship. And that number is continuing to grow. And three, we have smaller classrooms. Our classrooms are somewhere between, on average, I think about 18 students to 20 students per classroom. But it's my mission and my vision that even if you're at Georgia Highlands paying the $95 an hour in your smaller classroom, I still want you to have the exact same experience, exposure, and rigor that you have at UGA, Georgia Tech, or any of the other state institutions. And in my first year there, we say that the secret sauce in Georgia Highlands is our people. Once we get you on our campus, we don't let go of you. We take care of you. We make sure that you graduate. 84% of our graduates are still in Northwest Georgia, and that's a proud point. And we train talent for our community, and just wanted to say you're all welcome to come to our campus anytime. We're looking to make new partnerships. I'm a big believer that the degree, the paper is important, but also the hands-on training that you have and the experience. I want you to have a loaded resume and not just a degree. We just got our 9th bachelor's degree. We just signed a contract with Georgia Tech for an MOU for one of our degrees. You'll do 3 years at Georgia Highlands, and then you'll do a year at Georgia Tech, and you'll have both a degree from Georgia Highlands and Georgia Tech.
That's awesome.
We just signed a $7 million MOU with Atrium Healthcare. Any student that comes to Georgia Highlands and majors in nursing, 100% tuition and fees are paid. Supplies, books, uniforms, scrubs, everything. 100. You walk out debt-free, and you have a guaranteed 2-year contract with Atrium Healthcare. And so our number one employer is Corporate Home Depot. And so if you know anybody at Corporate Home Depot, tell them I'm going to be knocking on their door and tell them that we train their people too. And I want to do the same thing that we did with Atrium Healthcare. But again, I'm honored to be here, and thank you, commissioners, and for all that you do. I ran for a political office, and I was on the school board for 6 years. And somebody told me that's equivalent to dog years, 1 = 7. So being an elected official can be fun. But I'm glad to be here, and whatever we can do to help you in your town and our town, we're here to do that. Ken is our dean for the campus. He knows everybody in Cobb County. He's one of the kindest, sweetest people you'll ever meet, and we're in good hands with him. But please reach out anytime.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Do you have a...
Thank you.
Who's next?
All right, we will now have our next presentation. It is to present a proclamation with respect to National Recovery Month. For those who are here for this presentation, please join Commissioner Gambrill up front.
I would like to issue this proclamation in recognition of the National Recovery Month. Prevention of substance use disorders works. Treatment is effective and enables people across Georgia and around the nation to recover from heinous addictions. Since its founding in 2008, the Cobb County DUI Court has provided participants with comprehensive drug treatment wherein they are supervised by the judicial system, public safety agencies, and treatment providers. The Cobb County DUI Court has admitted more than 700 participants, and 519 graduates have successfully completed the program. The program currently has 74 participants with a retention rate of 87% and a recidivism rate of approximately 8% for DUI offenses. We, the Cobb County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim the month of September 2023 as National Recovery Month and salute the 15th anniversary of the Cobb County DUI Court, encouraging all to support people who need help with substance abuse and show them that recovery is real. This, the 26th day of September 2023.
Thank you. My name is Eric Bruton, and I'm the judge of the DUI court. I'm on the state court here in Cobb County. This is Darcy Kamau, who's with me. And Darcy has the privilege and does a great job of running our DUI court. A person in DUI court has at least 2 DUIs, and sometimes they will have as many as 7 or 8 or 9 or 10. And what happens is they come into our program, they do have to plead to the offense, but they go through it's a 2-year program where they go through intensive counseling, education, and they do community service and a lot of different things. But what is so great about it is when they graduate, they don't drink again. I mean, our recidivism rate is very, very low. And so from the standpoint of public safety, we're graduating people who will never drive drunk again. But that's really not the greatest part of the program. It is a great part of the program. But the greatest part is that we see families restored, we see relationships, we see people successful in their jobs. I'll ask a graduate, how was Christmas this year? And they'll go, well, it's the first year I wasn't sitting in a corner drinking. I was actually sitting at the table with my family, enjoying the Christmas day. And we hear that all the time. We have sons that will stand up and say, I have my dad back, or a mom back, or a husband or a wife back. So it's a court that really does restore lives, and that's why we do it. So we're very grateful to the support of the commissioners and of the county, and I'm very thankful for the work that you allow us to do in the DUI court. So thank you so much.
Thank you, that.
All righty. We have some people remaining because we have an exciting third proclamation, which is to recognize Kennesaw Public Safety for their donation to the Cobb Family Advocacy Center. For those who are here as a part of this presentation, please come on up and join Commissioner Gambrill.
And I am going to hand the microphone over to Chief Westenberger.
Thank you, Commissioner. First of all, it's an honor and a pleasure to be here with you guys tonight for this great occasion. Just to tell you a little bit about why we're here. About 2.5 years ago, Lieutenant Policarpio, that's here with me tonight, she came to my office and asked if I'd be willing to walk in high heels for a mile to give domestic violence awareness to our community. And it was an obvious yes. I didn't realize how big the task was on the front end, but it turned out to be a great experience nonetheless, and I came out with no injuries. But just to tell you, we did it in 21 and 22, and we'll be planning another one in 24. But domestic violence, if you're not aware, October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And it is something that plagues our community. It's something very serious, and those who are victims of domestic violence are very much trapped in that relationship and that situation. There's not much we can do as far as patrolling the streets to protect those victims, but there is a lot we can do from advocacy. And that advocacy helps the victims walk through the walk to escape what is happening in the home. So it's an honor and a pleasure for us to be able to provide this check. Before we do so, though, I want to give an opportunity to Lieutenant Policarpio to share with us the team that she worked with from the District Attorney's Office to put this together.
Thank you, sir. I just want to thank, on behalf of the Cobb County Domestic Violence Task Force, because this whole endeavor would not have been possible without them. So thank you very much. This was my co-chair at the time, Sirpa.
Good evening. I remember it was a cold day in February. It was a Sunday, and Lieutenant Policarpio and I met at the Starbucks off of Barrett Parkway, and she presented me with this idea, and we really wanted to make it reality that year. But then about 6 weeks later, COVID happened. So we had to postpone it a year, but we had 1.5 years time to plan it. We had wonderful volunteers. We had amazing sponsors, and we made it a reality, and we appreciate Chief Westenberger, DA Prody, got on those red heels and walked the mile in her shoes with us. So if you are here as a sponsor, as a volunteer, that you participated, please stand up.
Well, thank you so much, and I will officially present the check to DA Brody for $5,077.90 from the Kennesaw Public Safety Foundation and the Kennesaw Police and all the other partners that joined us in making this possible. Sir, would you like to say something?
I just want to say thank you. I think you said it best, is for domestic violence, it's sort of hidden crimes, and we don't know until someone gets called. And for our police, our law enforcement officers, it's one of the most dangerous calls that they can go on. But with the start of the Family Advocacy Center, and I'm letting you know now, we're going to open it December 15th. We're going to be able to do so many things for our community, provide a safe haven for those who are abused, and just make sure that they have an opportunity to not be a victim anymore, to get away from the person who's hurting them. We'd like to thank you for wearing those red heels. He has some great calves, I have to tell you. And now that Chief Van Hooser's standing up here with us, I'm sure he's going to volunteer to come out next year. So thank you so much for everything that you're doing, and knowing that as a community we are partners in doing everything we can to make Cobb County the best place to live, work, and play.
All right, here we go. 3,
All righty, next up, we have a presentation brought by Commissioner Sheffield, and this is to recognize We Thrive on Riverside Renters Association, or We Thrive on Riverside Drive Renters Association, and volunteers for their service on National Night Out. For those who are here as a part of that presentation, please come up front and join the commissioner.
Good evening, ladies. How are you tonight? Good, 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 good. I love those blue shirts. Come on, step around. Look at all of these wonderful, awesome volunteers. Come on in. Come on. Okay. The Cobb County Board of Commissioners Certificate of Appreciation is presented to the following: Amira Chapman, Angela Wynn, Gladys Head, Katoy Head, Monique Lester, and Zanaya Pug. The Cobb County Board of Commissioners would like to recognize the service of We Thrive on Riverside Renters Association, which advocates for housing, education, and health care on behalf of residents. On July 26, 2023, volunteers with the organization joined with the Cobb Police Department, Sheriff's Office, and Fire Department for a National Night Out event in their community. We thank you all for your efforts in making this praiseworthy crime prevention event possible. Thank you so much.
And we just want to thank the Cobb County Board of Commissioners and Commissioner Sheffield for recognizing our residents from Riverside community. It's always said that, renters don't get involved. Well, renters are involved, and we're here to thrive every day, all day. Thank you very much. Okay. And we have Nicole, who's the mother of, yes, she's here with us. It takes a village.
Okay. Let me squeeze in the middle here between you guys. Come on in. I don't want to stand in front of you.
All right, y'all ready? Here we go. 3, 2, and I gotcha, thanks.
Okay, thank you, ladies, so much. I appreciate it.
Yes, that threw me off. They changed the name.
Oh, yeah.
All right. For our next presentation, we'll have members of the Austell Community Task Force who were involved with the construction of a bridge connecting Drennan Avenue and the Silver Karma Trail. For those of you who are here as a part of this presentation, please come on up and join Commissioner Sheffield.
Hello, hello. How are you? I am doing well. It's good to see all of you guys. Hello. Hello, little one. Come on down, come on down.
We're pleased to have Councilman Ron Davis, who's here as well, from the city of Mapleton, be a part of this presentation. Good to see you.
Thank you, Ron, and that's Ron on the end, if you would wave your hand. Thank you. The Cobb County Board of Commissioners Certificate of Recognition is presented to the Austell Community Task Force. The Cobb County Board of Commissioners recognizes the Austell Community Task Force for initiating the construction of a bridge connecting the Drennan Avenue neighborhood to the Silver Comet Trail. Lolita Dixon and Deborah Johnson inspired Cobb Parks and the Cobb Department of Transportation to build a safe entry point, which was completed in March 2021. The Board of Commissioners salutes the Austell Community Task Force for their initiative. This, the 26th day of September 2023.
Sure, I just want to say partnership is important because the resident reached out to the organization, made the connection what she wanted in her community, and the organization did what they supposed to do with the connection. So Lolita, I know you're not here, but I know you're probably watching. Thank you for implementing that trail for your community, and thank you, commissioners, for answering the call.
Thank you so much. And also, I'd like to recognize Elliot Hennington, who serves on the Parks and Recreation Board for District 4. Sam, did you want to get in a picture? Come on, Sam. We'll send you a photo. No, Sam.
These pictures are free.
I think we should shift it just a little bit.
Here.
Yeah, just shift. It's so fun. You should come over here. Okay.
Looking good. Here we go. Way to make them smile.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you, of course. Oh shit, they should just stand. You should just stay here, okay. Come on back up, guys. The next one is also for ACT.
It's ACT Day. If there's anyone else who's here with respect to the Riverside Neighborhood Community Garden, please come on up front.
Sam, we got you covered. He just probably wants to have it on his own device. Okay, so the Cobb County Board of Commissioners Certificate of Recognition presented again to the Austell Community Task Force. The Cobb County Board of Commissioners recognizes the Austell Community Task Force for initiating the construction of a bridge. I'm sorry, I just read that one. Hold that one, Deborah, thank you. Okay, so the Cobb County Board of Commissioners recognizes the Austell Community Task Force for helping create the Riverside Neighborhood Community Garden in 2018 based on the vision of past director Tiana Jackson of the Michael A. Grant Boys and Girls Club. ACT and the Cobb County Board of Health partnered to create the family-friendly garden at 875 Riverside Parkway in Austell. It contains 19 beds to grow healthy food and help build healthy lifestyles. The Board of Commissioners salutes the Austell Community Task Force for their involvement in this growing community resource. This, the 28th day of September 2023. Did you want to speak on that? Or?
I do.
Okay.
Again, grandson, please. Again, I want to thank the commissioners because without you guys answering the call, it couldn't have not have been done. And so this one came about with myself and another organization working in the Boys and Girls Club doing programming. And Tiana Jackson said that she wanted to implement a garden. Without the partnership that our commissioner created through the Austell Community Task Force, this would not have happened. So we reached out to Cobb Douglas Health, and there are many partners involved, and I wrote it down because I didn't want to forget anybody, but it's the Boys and Girls Club, Cobb County Board of Health, Cobb Douglas Board of Health, of course, the Austell Community Task Force, Cobb Parks and Rec, the UGA Extension, Farm Bureau, Keep Cobb Beautiful, and Metro Urban Farm. So we thank all our partners for helping us to get this started and still going. And especially thank you to our president, Sam, who wasn't involved at the time, but he's fully involved right now. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you guys so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right. All right, that concludes our presentations for this evening, and we are now at our first public comment.
Thank you, Chairwoman. As the board provides the podium for public comment, it's appropriate to review the related meeting rules. Please state your name, and if you are speaking on behalf of an organization, all comments should be addressed through the chair. Public comment is not a dialogue with the board, but an opportunity for the speakers to provide their comments to the board. The comments should not be impertinent, derogatory, offensive, or slanderous. To that end, the board encourages, regardless of the topic, for the audience to be respectful and courteous to the speakers. Everyone attending this meeting should give others the right to both listen and to be heard by treating each other with civility. Statements made during the public comments portion do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the board or the administration of Cobb government. Just one extra piece today, our timer that I control over here at the table is not working. Consequently, the timer on the podium is not working as well. We have fixed something that's going to be a timer where people could see it down here when your 5 minutes, as your 5 minutes are run. So if you can just pay attention to that, hopefully we'll have this problem fixed in a couple of meetings from now. With that being said, the first speaker is Virginia Coate.
My name is Virginia Choate, and it's okay. I'm a 41-year Cobb County resident and a 40-year homeowner. Speaking on the transit tax proposal, spending $530,000 on consultants whose advice will help promote, plan, and implement a 30-year 1-cent transit sales tax even before we taxpayers approve this project is imprudent and irresponsible. The 30-year 1-cent transit tax proposal likely won't be approved anyway, as it wasn't supported by the general population, Cobb mayors, and 2 commissioners in 2022. It was wisely dropped for voter consideration back then. Near future transit technology will likely be more buses or high-speed rail, etc., will be much less viable, if not obsolete, within this taxable 30-year period. Additional bus or MARTA-like transit proposals don't solve our home to destination and back needs even now in a suburban environment that we currently have and want to maintain. Is urbanization of Cobb into high-density housing centers the ultimate goal here? Otherwise, it makes no sense to me. We moved to a suburban area. We do not want density. Mass transit brings density. We already know that business office occupancy has declined tremendously. Remotely working from home is the growing preference. Zoom business meeting technology is fast replacing the face-to-face communication requirement. All will continue to change the transit environment in ways that can't be predicted or defined over such a long 30-year tax period. Traffic circles, kinetic traffic, signal coordination, etc. makes more sense. These types of solutions actually work on our secondary and tertiary roads. That's where the real traffic problem exists for most of us. You don't need to hire consultants to accomplish this either. Our economic outlook, ? Well, the Dow hit the lowest figure since March today. Experts at the state and federal levels do not know what's ahead. Even if Cobb County continues to thrive, the inflation effect on family budgets has been severe and is rising again according to the CPI. An additional 1 or 2 cent sales tax will really hurt our lower and middle class on items needed to feed, house, and clothe families. Example, what about a refrigerator? It can make or break someone. It was pretty expensive for me in 2016. I don't even know what the prices are now. So the information that I have is that there's been 1.5 million trips that total less than 2 per day for 1 day of the year per resident. Expanding a bus service on Roswell Road that is basically not used makes no sense.
The next speaker is Denny Wilson.
Good evening, Denny Wilson. First of all, I want to give a shout out to Drew Ressler and his department, DOT. We went back and forth with a few emails, but then he finally came to my side and decided that my street needed to be cleaned up. I mean, I was ashamed to go home. It looked so bad. His crew came out and they did an amazing job. I mean, they trimmed back all the trees, they picked up a lot of the trash, they mowed all of the right-of-ways, and then as I was leaving home, they were on South Gordon, and from South Gordon, they went down Factory Shows, so they spent about 3 or 4 days in our community just cleaning up. And I know how amazing they are because I went out and I talked to them and made sure that they didn't need water or Gatorade or anything, that I could go out and get them. So thank you, Drew, for that. And also thank you, Ms. Cupid, for the few minutes that you spent with us today. It was very enlightening, and we were able to get a few things off of our chest. I think most of us were happy with the response that we received from you, so thank you for that.
Thank you. No, thank you.
That was a great idea to come up with.
Thank you.
But just because it's spoken with passion from a microphone doesn't mean it's true. Those were your words after I spoke at the last Board of Commissioners meeting. Nothing that I said was untrue, because honestly, people don't have a problem with the color of your skin. They've got a problem with your politics and how you implement. At your meeting last night, the meeting went pretty good. I got there late, but from what I could observe, you told us what the county was going to do. You didn't ask us what we wanted. And that's what's going on in the county right now, is we're being told, because you got the power of the vote. You have your 3 votes, and you're cramming as much as you can down our throats. And when we pose opposition, we're racist, or we don't like you, but that's not the case. All we want is a decent place to call home. And lastly, since you're in the mode of apologies, I'd like for you to request 2 apologies to be made to the citizens of Cobb County, 1 to the citizens of Cobb County and 1 to a family. And the first apology is you need to get Commissioner Sheffield to apologize to the people that were in this room the night that she talked to us as if we were nothing. I mean, I think she owes us an apology for that. And secondly, go back and research Wanda Spann. Wanda Spann was the first African-American to be appointed to a position, a leadership position in Cobb County in the pretrial court. And she served from '83 to 2003. She was wrongfully terminated. She was denied her she was denied her county pension. She was denied her unemployment, her medical insurance, and it went all the way to the Supreme Court, and she was still denied there. So since you guys are in the mode of requesting that people apologize for the past sins of the county, go back and look at Wanda Spann and what happened with her and her family. Unfortunately, Wanda is no longer with us. She passed away to breast cancer in 2014. But, she went to her grave with the wrong that Cobb County did to her. And that's one of the reasons I can say that I would support diversity and inclusion. but not diversity, equity, and inclusion. Because as I stated the last time, I don't know how that word even got included in the middle, because from what I've always known, it was diversity and inclusion. And, you know, again, I didn't lie about anything that I said at the last meeting. Everything that I said was on point. Most of the people who have come in here and who have talked to you or talked at you have been people who voted for you. So if they had a problem with the color of your skin, they never would have given you their vote. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Catherine Jones.
And excuse me before the next speaker comes up, and again, I really don't want to make this a habit, but I don't think that there is a problem with race, and that's why I do feel that it's important for me to iterate that I do think there has been a problem of the color of politics, and I think that there has been correspondence that speaks directly to that when this board was elected that I can point to. But I don't necessarily think speakers are coming in here and critique of us based on race. Now, do we have issues of race in the county that could be addressed? Certainly. But that's what I want to clarify to you, that if there is a color of issue, I can point to very specific correspondence received that let people know there was a new board here that's different political persuasion, and they were going to approach us differently. So. With that, Bill, we can take our next speaker.
The next speaker is Catherine Jones.
Hey, I'm here to speak on behalf of the citizens who are in affordable Cobb. We the people are taxed to death, and Cobb is no longer affordable. So I ask you, expanding mass transit, how much will crime increase? The transit system is losing $29 million annually. How much will ridership increase as you increase service? How much more will the taxpayers need to subsidize? With raising the water rate, electricity rate, property tax, now wanting to raise our sales tax and taxing us for water storage, how can we make Cobb affordable? And also, we would like to know, why did $21 million get put into one single bidder on a contract so that nobody else had a chance to try and, I guess, fight them? Not fight them, but I'm having a blank moment, I'm sorry.
You got time, you're good.
But I do think that we have plenty of competent citizens in Cobb County. Maybe we could find a consultant who lives in Cobb so that we truly know that they would have our best interests at heart. I think a lot of people would appreciate that. But yes, thank you.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Charlene Gale.
Hi, my name is Dr. Charlene Gale, and I'm really excited to be before the board today to talk to you. I am actually here representing Amana Academy West. I work for the University of Georgia, University System of Georgia, as a college professor. I have two children that attend Amana West Academy, and they're 1 year old, they're in first grade, and they are also in the third grade. And so that's the reason why I'm here today. I'm here to ask if it would be okay to have a meetings of the mind so that Amana West would be able to put modulars on the Girl Scout campus so that we can extend the children that we serve to the 5th grade. Like all parents that decided to go to Amana West, I did my research. And I realized that Amana West had been very successful. They had a lot of recognition about the work that they did for students in math, reading, as well as in STEM. And so I had no doubt when they were going to open up the second location that that new public charter school would also be successful. And it was. In addition to that, I was excited about the fact that the school was actually going to be on a Girl Scout campus. My hope and my dream was that my children would be able to have that experiential learning that would foster curiosity, also broaden their creativity, and I wasn't disappointed. My children learned how different types of organisms in nature work together, how those organism needed to thrive and what were the ideal situations for that, and more importantly, what they could do in order to make that happen. And as a college professor, I realized that those were the types of skills and mindset that children would need in order to be successful in any discipline. In addition to that, because it was a Girl Scout campus, I felt very secure, as all the parents did. Girl Scout had been operating for decades, educating children on this particular campus. So they had the protocol, the means, the procedures, and the policies to keep the children safe, as well as the faculty and staff. Lastly, I was really impressed with the technology that the school had. Not only did they have state-of-the-art monitors in the classroom that you could do the touch screen, tablets that they gave the children so that it would supplement their learning and also deliver lessons too, but they also gave parents a way to interact and engage with them through different types of systems that we could help with homework. So that could be Class Dojo, Study Island, iReady, Savas. In a world where parents such as myself become very concerned at how technology is isolating our children, Amana West Academy created the right balance so that children were not only engaged with each other, but they were also engaged with the outside world. And so for that, I am asking that this board would consider allowing Amana West to install those modulars on the campus so that we could continue to educate the students that they currently have, as well as the community at large, so that we can also accommodate people or students that are going to the 5th grade. I thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Don Barth.
Good evening, ladies. Don Barth over here from Marietta. Before I go too deep in this, I want to remind you tonight, out of 800,000 people in this county, how many show up to speak? And why is that? Because they get dressed down. My comments tonight are only my comments. They don't mean squat. They mean something to me because I have the right to say it. I will not be dressed down by near one of you. Not going to happen. You violate my First Amendment right, we're going to go back. I will throw an ethics charge at that. I just can't stand that. You understand? We all understand each other. It's a comment. It's only a comment. So when I go back to the comments, I want to talk about the BOC in general. What are your responsibilities? Set up a budget, figure out some tax levies, some other things that you have to do. What's your main responsibility to the citizens? Public safety. Make sure that we're safe in our community. We have the services. Street man, we just heard that the Public Works is great. We got water. We've got other stuff. But we have to have a public safety department. Then we have to come down the line. Everybody's screaming at you, I want affordable housing. What the hell do you want? Nobody knows. They just say, I want it because it sounds good. On top of that, what are we talking about with this mass transit? First of all, you have to have density to have mass transit. You have to have the density. You know, when the bus rode out of downtown Atlanta years ago, it used to stop right there where the farms were at Piedmont Hospital. It was drawn by a horse in a buggy. And it stopped right there. There was a reason it stopped right there. The density fell off. It's going to be the same in Cobb County. You can run a bus all you want. You can spend the money. Find the density first, and that's part of your job. Zoning. So I'm not scared of density. A lot of people are. I live in Marietta. We're scared of apartments. Why? Everybody in here started off in an apartment. You probably lived in an apartment when you went to college. When you got out of college, you lived in an apartment. You were transient until you got your first job. You were going to pack up and move the next company that gave you more money. So we've got to come together as a community. You're not going to force this bus people to jump on. How many of you think will get on it in a day going through East Cobb? 10? Y'all expecting 10? And are they going to stop at the Kmart down there, the old Kmart site? Whoever thought that up again? TUMB. That's only my comment. But boy, I know what I'm talking about there. Anyway, you ladies sit up there. They've got some juggling of the balls. We're throwing them up in the air. There's more blue balls than there are red balls. And it's not supposed to be that way. It's not working. You're juggling and you're dropping stuff left over right. And you know it and I know it. It's not a big deal. Everybody's going to make a mistake. It's how you get out of that mistake. And that goes back to this airport over here at the end of Dobbins, piece of land. There's a major screw up there. Now we're trying to fix it. Congratulations on going back to fix it. Everything's a game because, we're all out there. You're going to be the quarterback. You're going to call the plays, wide receiver, whatever you got to do. It's a team effort. But as a team, I live in a community, and I expect the same where I live on my part as what they get down at Riverside. I'm glad that Riverside's getting acknowledged. That's an important part of this. We all live in Cobb County, and let's go and work on figuring out how to get this bus system to work, not forcing it down my throat. Don't levy me with more taxes. We've already talked about that. You've done this budget. We've been up here arguing about the budget. You made a point about the budget, and we listened. Bill Volkman came out and said, hey, it's going to cost us $30 million. Oh, hell no. Oh, no. We're not going to do that. But anyway, y'all have a good evening. Please don't dress me down. Thank you.
The next speaker is Craig Harfoot.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name's Craig Harfoot. Tonight, I just wanted to give you a little life experience, a true one. I came to Atlanta. I was transient, didn't even have an apartment. But anyhow, shared a couch for a while. But I found jobs. They went away. It's the early 70s. The 70s was a horrible time. We're coming into that time now. But anyhow, I got a job down in College Park framing pictures part-time. And the owner lived in Morrow, and he was a choir director with his wife, and they had a little girl. And in this art store, we just talked, and he started talking about porn, and his wife didn't like it, and this and that, and I just sort of blew that off. And I got that job with the state after waiting a year from the merit system tests and all that, and and I sort of just went on. And come to find out, we used to go on these trips to Jekyll Island or Unicoi because the county paid for it, and they were the Georgia County Welfare Association. I think they still do that. But anyhow, I ran into him. He had gotten a job after I had left. Well, you got to tell you this little anecdote. The first MARTA line went from the airport through College Park and East Point, and it destroyed the commercial center in those two towns. And his art shop, the economy was bad, and that made it worse. And so he got a job at the state. And by then he had divorced his wife. He was went to the gay lifestyle. And, that's what he told me briefly when I saw him at this meeting. And the next time he called me, he was saying, could I come to West End and give him some estimates on furniture he had in the house. And it was, I went there and he took me around, and I guess his partner was in one of the bedrooms, and he was in bed. He was dying. And this all goes to, we all got free will. We can choose what we want to do. And this guy chose that. And he ended up dead too. I mean, AIDS killed a lot of people back then. And, God gave us free will. We can do what we want. We make choices. Our choices have consequences. I mean, and that the DEI, that equity thing, that's all invasive right now, like trying to say kids can choose what sex they want to be and all that. I mean, this is right against anything the Bible has to say about it. And it's just this new phenomenon. And, in the Bible, it says the wages of sin is death. And I saw that firsthand in the 70s. And we all did. And I think we don't need to be changing young kids' sexes and things like that, making eunuchs out of them. This is not even something we should think about. And yet, it's why I said what I did at the last meeting about Babylon the Great. I mean, we just really going down that rabbit hole. And every day we just see more and more stuff going down. And like I said, we all got a shot. We can repent. We can change what we're doing. And God forgives through his Son. The blood that was shed, the lamb that was slain before the foundation of the world. And thank you. I mean, I know this is more sermon than anything, but it's appropriate because you never know when your next day is, when it all ends. There's just an awful lot of stuff going down now in the world. And I hope we reflect on that. And I'm sure the majority of us in this country have some church schooling. We understand the Bible stories, but I still encourage everybody, read that book cover to cover. Every plot that ever been in a movie's there. Thanks.
Chairwoman, that's the last public speaker of the first portion of public comment.
Commissioners, we are now at our consent agenda. For those of you who are here with us, our consent agenda items are items that we vote on in bank, which means we vote on all of these items collectively with one vote. These items scrolled on the screen prior to the meeting, and for those watching remotely, they should have scrolled on your screen for you to see what we're voting on this evening. I'm looking here to our clerk. I'm not seeing any modifications to our consent agenda, which is unique, but an accomplishment for us. So therefore, I move that we approve the consent agenda and authorize execution of the necessary documents by the appropriate county personnel.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments of commissioners regarding the consent agenda? Call the question. The motion carries 5-0. Thank you, commissioners. We are now at the County Managers tab.
Good evening, Chairwoman, Commissioners, Madam County Manager. We have two items for you this evening. Our first item is for the board to approve change order number 4 with Deloitte Consulting to secure the third-year option for ARPA program consulting services. As we enter the third year of administering the disbursement of federal ARPA funds, Deloitte's emphasis has now shifted to ensuring compliance subrecipient consultation, and documentation review. Therefore, we ask that the board approve change order number 4 with Deloitte Consulting in an amount not to exceed $2.6 million to secure the third-year option for ARPA consulting services, authorize the corresponding budget transfers, and authorize the chairwoman to execute the necessary documents.
All right, Commissioners, I move that we approve this agenda item as it has been presented.
Second.
Is there any discussion from Commissioners? Yes, Commissioner Gamble, and then we'll go to Commissioner Sheffield.
Thank you. Jimmy, if you can just clarify for the audience where the funding for this consulting services are coming from.
The funding does come from the ARPA funds itself. When the first contract was approved 3 years ago, we went ahead and encumbered all 3 years should the board decide to execute those options. So it will not take away from any of the projects that have been awarded to date, and it has been set aside.
But more importantly, it's not coming from the general fund.
It is not coming from general fund, no ma'am.
Thank you.
Commissioner Sheffield.
I had the same question. Thank you, Jimmy, for the clarification.
Okay.
Commissioner Burrow, please.
Yes, that was clear. But also, this is the third year option that we've already approved each year. And for me, with this being federal money and making sure that the county, that all these funds are in compliance, and for a company, a consultant to do that, we don't have the wherewithal to do that in our legal or county staff. So like you said earlier, we don't want to be wearing orange.
No, ma'am.
So I support this because we do have to be careful and make sure that all the requirements are met and everyone's in compliance with these funds.
Absolutely. And just to further that point a little bit, when we first started this journey, we really had no idea how many different subrecipients we were going to have to deal with. And now that we have awarded these funds to right at 100 different subrecipients, the law of averages is against us because there's so many different people that we've got to make sure that they're spending exactly the money that they said they were going to spend on what they said they were going to spend it on. And that's where it comes in very handy having someone like Deloitte on board that can make sure that happens.
Thank you, Jimmy. Commissioners, are there any other questions or comments before I call the question? All right, seeing none, call the question. The motion passes 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. Our second item this evening is for the board to approve the Cobb County Strategic Plan for 2023 to 2028. Cobb County contracted with Accenture to prepare a strategic plan for the county. Through numerous listening sessions, interviews, and workshops, a wealth of information was gathered. This input, when combined with almost 3,800 survey responses, is the driving force behind the plan we're presenting tonight. A draft list of over 300 key performance indicators have been developed by staff, and that list will be finalized once the plan is approved. Therefore, we ask the board to approve the Cobb County Strategic Plan 2023 to 2028 as presented in the agenda.
Thank you, Jimmy. I move that we approve this agenda item as it has been presented.
Second.
Yes, any comments? Commissioner Burrow.
Thank you. We've had a lot of discussions, Jimmy, about this, and I can't support this, and the main reason is there are things covered in here that to me are not the government's role. And even though this doesn't include funding at this time, once it's in here, it's going to be expected to be funded and completed. So I can't support the strategic plan. Thank you.
Thanks, Commissioner. Are there any other comments or questions? Commissioner Richardson.
I know personally I don't take the opinion that solving problems is throwing money at it. And there are a lot of opportunities to foster public-private partnerships to accomplish these goals. And it really is about fostering relationships between departments and the community. So I don't think that this will require, that's only at the direction of the board, that funding would be assigned to any one of these items.
Thank you, Commissioner.
And,
Are there any other comments?
Sorry, yeah, and just to add, I am in support of this item. As Cobb County continues to grow, we're topping 785,000, and we're expected to be at least 1 million by 2050. And as it stands, we really don't have a clear path in place. Policy is implemented by each board that changes different ideas. So to have a plan in place that will move the county forward, I think would put us in a better trajectory in reaching those goals that we have, not just as a board, but also for the citizens that had input in helping to develop this plan.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Gamble, would you like to weigh in? Okay. I'll echo the sentiments of Commissioners Richardson and Sheffield in that this plan was formulated in partnership with our directors, with our stakeholders, with our citizens to address what are priorities for Cobb County. And there are many opportunities that we do have to address the things that are stated in here, whether it's through public-private partnerships or through policy decisions that we make that may not necessarily have a dollar value. But as Commissioner Sheffield recognized the large population that we have here in Cobb, I think it's due time that we start operating more strategically. As many people argue, we should be more like a business. It's very hard for us to get all of our citizens, our stakeholders, and our leaders on the same page if we don't have a plan that does that. And this is why we've had a significant outreach initiative to hear what citizens desired of our county, and we've spent countless hours in going back and forth, again, with all of our stakeholders, in person, online, to get feedback so you can help us understand where you desire for Cobb County to go. I thank our county manager for her foresight in articulating, as soon as this board got in place, that we need a game plan. We can't just all be doing our things, and we can't just all be firefighting. We've got to be strategic in how we go about serving this county. And this is a big step for us to do that in Cobb. And so I'm pleased to support this agenda item tonight. With that, Commissioners, I call the question. The motion carries 3-2 with Commissioners Burrell and Gamble in opposition.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Chairman. We are now at our transportation tab and have our Director of Transportation, Drew Ressler, with us.
Good evening, Chairwoman, Commissioners, County Manager. The department has 10 items for your consideration this evening. Our first item is to recommend the Board of Commissioners approve a contract with Chatfield Contracting Incorporated, an amount not to exceed $161,567.88 for drainage system repairs on French's Point, project number B2260. Authorize the corresponding budget transactions and further authorize the Chairwoman to execute the necessary documents.
Commissioner Gamble.
So moved. Second.
Any questions or comments? We'll call the question. The motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. Our next item this evening is to recommend the Board of Commissioners approve Amendment Work Authorization Number 2 to the Program Management Agreement with Atkins North America Incorporated, an amount not to exceed $27,582,950.90 for program management services for the 2022 SPOS Transportation Improvements Program and for continuation of 2011 and 2016 SPOS Transportation Improvements Programs to include limited general engineering services and services for individual major infrastructure projects, transit programs, and airport programs effective January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2025. Authorize the Chairwoman to execute the necessary documents.
Thank you. I'll move that we adopt this agenda item as it has been revised. Or, excuse me, it has not been revised. Where's my mind? As it has been presented, excuse me.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments? All right, we'll call the question. The motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Our next item is to recommend the Board of Commissioners adopt a resolution authorizing the submission of a Strengthening Mobility and Revolutionizing Transportation SMART grant application to the U.S. Department of Transportation for the Cumberland Community Improvement District's Autonomous Vehicle Pilot Program. Designate staff at the Department of Transportation as representatives for all matters associated with the SMART grant application, and authorize the chairwoman to execute the necessary documents.
All right. Commissioner Richardson.
So moved.
There a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions?
I know that CID is excited.
They certainly are. And for those of you who aren't familiar, we have an autonomous vehicle, which is a driverless vehicle that is transporting people through a pilot program from the Galleria to the Brave Stadium. There's opportunity for anyone from the public to experience this for free. And from what I've heard, everyone that's done it is still alive. And so we're hoping that we can add this as a viable transit opportunity as we continue to flesh out our options. Yes, you can attest, you're still here?
I am still here. And the Cumberland area, they've certainly taken a leadership role in both securing this, funding this, organizing it, and that's what I said, funding it. This is us supporting their grant application, so.
Thank you. Commissioner Burrow, did you have a hand?
No, I just want to make sure the public knew too that it's all funded by the Cumberland CID.
That's correct.
And we all wrote it. It was great.
Did I see another hand? All right, we'll call the question. The motion carries 4-1 with Commissioner Gambrill in opposition.
Thank you. Our next item this evening is to recommend the Board of Commissioners ratify previous action by the county manager authorizing emergency drainage repairs on Lake Somerset Drive in response to a sinkhole. Approve project number B22100 to the 2021 countywide unit price contract with Advanced Sports Construction LLC in an amount not to exceed $215,599 for said repairs. Authorize the corresponding budget transactions and further authorize the chairwoman to execute the necessary documents.
Commissioner Gambrill.
So moved. Second.
Is there any discussion? Call the question. The motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. Our next item is to recommend the Board of Commissioners approve change order number 1 final to project number B2278 to the 2021 countywide unit price contract with Chatfield Contracting Incorporated, a savings to the project in the amount of $56,627.99 for emergency drainage repairs on Fairgreen Drive. Authorize the corresponding budget transactions and further authorize the chairwoman to execute the necessary documents.
Okay, Commissioner Richardson.
So moved. Second.
Is there any discussion? Call the question. The motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. Our next item is to recommend the Board of Commissioners approve change order number 1 final to project number B2283 to the 2021 countywide unit price contract with Chatfield Contracting Incorporated. Savings to the project in the amount of $42,991.16 for emergency drainage repairs on Chimney Swift Circle. Authorize the corresponding budget transactions and further authorize the chairwoman to execute the necessary documents.
Okay, Commissioner Burrow.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Is there any discussion? We'll call the question. The motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. Excited to present this next item to demonstrate our fiscal diligence. Our next item is to recommend the Board of Commissioners approve change order number 1 final to the contract with Tidwell Construction Company, a savings to the contract in the amount of $5.90 for Mars Hill Road over Allatoona Creek, project number X2115. Authorize the corresponding budget transaction and further authorize the chairwoman to execute the necessary documents.
Wow. Commissioner Gambrill.
We didn't go to McDonald's?
We tried.
Okay, so moved.
Second. And did we ever figure out if we broke a record on this one?
This is in the running.
Okay.
Still digging back into the archives.
Make sure it stays in District 1.
The
$5.90.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other comments? All right, we'll call the question. Yep. The motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. Our next item is to recommend the Board of Commissioners approve change order number 1 final to the contract with Traffic Calming USA LLC, a savings to the project in the amount of $67,173.65 for resurfacing 2022 countywide high-friction surface treatment, project number X2920. Authorize a corresponding budget transaction and further authorize the chairwoman to execute the necessary documents.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Call the question. The motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. Our next item is to recommend the Board of Commissioners approve a contract with Luminate Transportation Technologies LLC in an amount not to exceed $88,190 for the installation of closed-circuit television cameras for incident management CCTV cameras, project number B2521. Authorize a corresponding budget transaction and further authorize the chairwoman to execute the necessary documents.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Call the question. The motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. And our final item this evening is to recommend the Board of Commissioners approve an intergovernmental agreement with Cobb County Board of Education for the donation of temporary construction and driveway easements needed on a tract of land identified as parcel number 43 for Old Alabama Road Sidewalk, project number X2769. Authorize acceptance of the donation of required easements for said project and further authorize the chairwoman to execute the necessary documents.
All right, Commissioner Sheffield.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Call the question. The motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
We are now at our Public Services tab, and we'll hear from our Parks Director, Michael Brantley.
Good evening, Chairwoman, Commissioners, Madam County Manager. We have 2 items for consideration this evening. Our first item is for the Board of Commissioners to approve a contract with United Pool Construction, LLC, to provide construction services for improvements to all aquatic centers under the 2022 Park Splash program. This contract would include applying new Marsite surfacing to the pools and painting of the interior surfaces at Mountain View, Central, West Cobb, and South Cobb Aquatic Centers, and corrosion remediation is also included at Mountain View Aquatic Center. We ask that the BOC approve the contract with United Pool Construction in an amount not to exceed $1,315,000, authorize the corresponding budget transactions, and further authorize the chairwoman to execute the necessary documents.
All right, Commissioner Gambrill.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
I just want to say for the record, I feel left out of the party on this one.
Yes. Yours is coming. This item impacts Districts 1, 3, and 4. And you'll be getting yours, I know.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. With that, we'll call the question. And the agenda item passes 5-0.
Our
Thank
final
you.
item is to approve a purchase order with Johnson LaShober and Associates PC for professional design services for dam and pond repair at Lost Mountain Park under the 2022 Park Splash program. The existing spillway is failing, the dam is leaking, and the outlet control structure needs to be replaced. This project will provide a design to repair the issues at the pond. We ask that the BOC approve the purchase order with Johnson LaShober and Associates for an amount not to exceed $53,650. Authorize the corresponding budget transaction and further authorize the Director of Purchasing to execute the necessary documents.
Commissioner Gambrill.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Call the question. The motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Director.
Thank you.
Oh, we're at our second public comment already.
Ms. Chairwoman, the first public speaker is, hopefully I don't butcher your name too bad, Magalai Awaski. I'm sorry.
It's Magali Owoshika, but I understand. Good evening, Board of Commissioners. I want to thank you for your service, tenacity, and courage to lead our county. I know it's not easy. My name is Magali Owoshika. My husband and I live in Mableton, Georgia. We have a 7-year-old who attends 2nd grade at Amana Academy, and I'm here to speak on behalf of Amana Academy, a new charter school in Cobb County. I have been in education for over 15 years, 8 years as a teacher, and over 6 years in educational leadership positions. I've worked with students and have trained teachers, principals, and school leaders over the span of my educational career. I've worked with a variety of schools, from those considered failing to top-performing and high-achieving schools. From my professional and personal experiences, I can say that the best practices that Amana Academy West implements mirrors that of top-performing, high-achieving schools. Today, I'm coming before the board as an educator, parent, community member, and advocate for Amana Academy. As a professional, I am taught that the data does not lie. As indicated on third grade Georgia Milestone for Reading, 88% of the third graders at Amana Academy West are reading at or above grade level, and 85% are on or above grade level in math, outperforming the state of Georgia. I know that these numbers are a result of a robust and rigorous academic curriculum, scheduling and planning that are based in research, a thriving STEM program that is interwoven in every subject and specials class, a community of stakeholders who are completely bought into the mission and vision of Amana Academy West, and a plethora of other reasons. It is clear that in its second year of existence, Amana Academy West is on its way to becoming a modeled school. As a parent, I have witnessed my child thrive both emotionally and academically. Before coming to Amana, she experienced severe bullying at her former school. After attending Amana for only just 3 weeks, she told me, "Mommy, I feel safe here." Amana's social development program named High Five Habits teaches students how to be stand-up citizens and community members. By reinforcing respect, courage, responsibility, perseverance, compassion daily, students are taught how to be accountable to themselves and for their actions. It's safe to say that my daughter no longer experiences bullying since she's been at Amana. With that said, I am asking that the board partners with Amana Academy West and support our efforts to establish 3 additional modulars on the Girl Scouts campus so that our students can smoothly transition to the 5th grade. Currently, our school can only accommodate kindergarten through 4th grade, and without your support, we will not be able to expand, which will interrupt and impact students' learning. In my humble expert opinion, I believe that your partnership with Amana Academy West will reap a number of benefits, such as academic achievement and excellence for students in Cobb County, and economic growth and development for the residents and community of South Cobb. Thank you for your time.
The next public speaker is Noor Uwazi Aldini.
Yes.
Yes, Nuruddin.
Okay. Please, you can help state your name for the record so we have the correct.
I'm sorry, what was that?
You can restate your name for our record so we have the correct.
Nuruddin, that's my first name, and Wazi is last name.
Thank you.
I didn't realize there's too many people in here, so. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nuruddin Wazi. I live in Natchez Trace, Marietta, Georgia, Cobb County. Proud parent of a 6 years old boy who is attending 1st grade at Amana Academy. I have been in the state of Georgia for the past 14 years, visited 46 states. I have never testified at any county board, but I'm here today to address the Board of Commissioners regarding our dream. Yes, I'm calling it a dream, and it is for us and as a parents and also for our students a dream. The dream simply is to install modular buildings on our campus, Timber Ridge campus. My son was born about a year and a half prior to COVID crisis. We were dealing with this crisis for 2 years. 2 years full of stress, like everyone else worldwide. It was hard to take him out to entertainment places for kids. And having Amana Academy come into our community was a big relief for us. Due to their amazing school program, school activities, as well as great rating. They welcome everyone regardless of their background. My son now, after 1 year in Amana Academy, he stopped asking me if we're gonna have another lockdown due to another COVID. He's enjoying every moment in the Amana Academy. He has a lot of friends, thanks to the environment that Amana Academy is creating for the students. We are located 15 to 20 minutes from the Amana Academy school, and I strongly believe that the at Timber Ridge campus is a strategic location and convenient for Amana Academy. I don't work in the education system, but my father was a French teacher for 35 years. I have 2 brothers who are teachers. I really value the education system and what it does for our kids and any generations to come. I will conclude my word by asking you, please, if you could, help my family, help my community, help other families to achieve our dreams. Our dream, just one. Sorry. Thank you so very much for your time, listening to me and other parents. Thank you.
The next public speaker is Monica Delancey.
Look at the timer. Good evening, Monica Delancey, District 4, Riverside Community. Thank you again for recognizing We Thrive on Riverside Renters Association. This was a great time to be recognized this week because September 28th, Thursday, is National Neighbor Day. So that was so good for the neighborhood to recognize, along with also Community Task Force. I also want to just remind everyone that the schools are on fall break this week. And about a month ago, Girls Inc. called me and she said, Tiffany, who's the director of Girls Inc., she said, what are the young ladies doing for fall break? I said, well, hopefully it won't be bothering me because I want to get some rest. I just lost my father this summer, so I wanted to spend some time, getting some rest. So she said to me, well, Girls Inc. is located in Marietta, about 45 minutes from the South Cobb area. She said, if I arrange for a van to pick up about 10, 12 girls, do you think you could get about 10, 12 girls to participate in fall break? And I said, well, let me tell their parents. And when I told their parents, they said, sure. And we have 8 girls that have been attending fall break camp. They get up the same time they get to go to school in the morning, so it's nothing new to them. And they pick them up and bring them back. So if you see anyone from Girls Inc., you tell them thank you, because these parents didn't have anything planned for their youth to do this week, and we have to keep our youth engaged. Also, I want to just share that Riverside Community hosted a community meeting September 13th, and at the meeting, we were able to have updates from public safety. Our state representative, Terry Cummings, attended. Also, our Cobb County Deputy Public Health Director, Lisa Crossman, attended. And there were about, I want to say, 80 residents who attended this meeting. And at the meeting, not only did they hear updates from, the police department, health department, but they also wanted to find out about rental assistance. It saddens me that Cobb County Eviction Court, which is on Fridays, is still wall to wall with African American women being evicted. And it's bad enough that the people that's on the dockets, I want to say about 100 people at 9 o'clock, and again another 100 at 1:30. They're on there not just for missing payments, but there are some rental companies, some apartment complexes that's not taking rental assistance from agencies. They're refusing to take it. Some people on the docket because apartment complexes are not renewing their leases because they said they were late on their rent. So they're not renewing their leases. So they have to find a place to move to. And then you have people that's on the dockets because you have apartment complexes that don't want to renew your lease because you're advocating for renters. And I say that to say that, yes, again, I want to share that I won my case that I've been fighting for over 10 months, going back and forth to the court system, talking with residents, listening to other court cases. And then finally, after talking to the owner representative, he said to me, well, Ms. Monica, I like what you're doing for the community. I want you to continue to help those residents. What else we can do? Because we know that the rental assistance is short term. So therefore, I want you to continue to try to bring in the community partners. I want you to continue to do that. So they were willing to dismiss my case because he said that the old regional manager should not have never have canceled my lease and filed eviction on me. So when that man was up there, the president of Georgia Highlands College was talking about the nursing school, the parent that came here to see her daughter being recognized, she didn't even get home. She told me when she was leaving out, she said, make sure you get the information from me for Georgia Highlands, okay? So she thought she was here to see her daughter be recognized. She got to learn about some other great things Cobb County is doing. So that's what it's going to take, because we do know that the rental assistance is short term. It is a Band-Aid fix, and we have to be intentional on making sure that our families continue to thrive. So thank you very much.
That's our final public speaker for this evening.
Thank you, Bill. We are now at our appointments tab, and we have one appointment for Commissioner to announce. Go ahead.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I would like to announce the reappointment of Susan Hampton to the Neighborhood Safety Commission.
Thank you, Commissioner. And I believe that takes us to the Commissioner's public address. And once we get those slides up, we'll begin with Commissioner Gambrill.
Join us tomorrow for our next walk and talk session starting at 9:30 at the Fair Oaks Park, where we will be joined by special guest Cheryl Richardson. She's the Councilwoman of Marietta, and Major Bullock of Cobb County Precinct 3. Fair Oaks Park is located at 1465 West Booth Road Extension in Marietta, and it boasts lovely shaded spots along the walking path. Our meeting point will be near the tennis courts. See you in the morning. Looking for something fun to do during the fall break? Stop by the North Cobb Library for activities including arts, crafts, and STEM. This week at 4:30 p.m. on Thursday, September 28th, children ages 5 and above can learn how to make dinosaur fossils with instructors Mr. Will and Miss Kathy. Registration is required. For more information, you can contact Janet Wingard at 770-801-5320. And lastly, the annual Great Lake Allatoona Cleanup takes place this Saturday, September 30th. This is a great time for everyone in the Ackworth community to come and help us clean up the shoreline of both Lake Ackworth and Lake Allatoona. Participants are encouraged to bring their own pair of rubber boots or waders. Trash bags, gloves, vests, and grabbers will be provided. The event is sponsored by the Ackworth Parks and Recreational Department, the Ackworth Lake Authority, Great Lake Allatoona Cleanup Committee, and the Lake Allatoona Association. This is a great project for Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, community groups, and anyone who wants to help keep the lakes clean. To register, you can contact Richard Hintz at 678-294-1575. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. We'll now go to Commissioner Richardson.
All right. So from the office, District 2, September community focus, as I introduced before, is transportation. So we invite you to explore the future of mobility with our Transportation Forum. This event will be on September 28th from 5:30 to 8 p.m. at Fuller's Park. You can scan the QR code or email our office. You can contact Megan. All kinds of ways to make sure that you're attending. And at this forum, there'll be a whole lot of opportunities to learn more, engage, ask questions, offer up what you would like to see, and also hear from members of the community directly about some of the issues that each community faces. Also, we've got the Q2 quarterly report. Yay! October 17th. We will be having it 5:30 to 7:30 at the Boy Scouts of America in the Court Room. More details to come. These are always very exciting opportunities to hear from, and certainly not just myself, but all of our other representatives that accommodate the district and have different things going on. So please save the date. From the community, we've got the solar eclipse events across the county. Only 2 solar eclipses will be visible in North America for 20 years, and one of them is coming up soon, October 14th. Here in Cobb County, 52% of the sun will be covered by the moon. So it'll start at 11:43 a.m., midpoint is at 1:12, and it ends at 2:44. Cobb Libraries will prepare you for the best experience, the best and safest viewing at the eclipse workshops. The next workshop will be this Saturday, September 30th from 2 to 3 at Vinings Library. Learn more about the moon's phases, why solar and lunar eclipses occur, and how to view an eclipse safely. Everyone also gets a free pair of glasses. We also have the Cobb Elections and Registration Town Hall. Cobb County Elections and Registration will host a town hall from 5 to 7 p.m. Tuesday, October 3rd in the Senior Wellness Center. You can meet Interim Director Jerry Miller and learn about the department's divisions, duties, and the November municipal elections. A Q&A session will follow those presentations, and you may also register to vote, request absentee ballots, and discover what goes into becoming an election worker. The Senior Wellness Center is located at the address that you can see on here, 1150 Powder Springs Street, Marietta. And lastly, we've got the Cobb 911 Kids Expo. Meet the people at 911 during a festive fun event at 10 a.m. to noon on Saturday, October 7th in Marietta. You can bring your children to the Cobb 911 Kids Expo to learn about calling for help, play fun games, tour the 911 center, talk on the police radio, and do more activities. You may even meet Turbo the Tortoise. This event is free and great for kids in grades K through 5, and a parent must accompany the children attending this event. So that concludes my updates. Thank you.
Thanks, Commissioner. We'll now hear from Commissioner Burrow.
Thank you. If you missed the Truckapalooza, you get another chance to see big trucks and emergency vehicles up close. Bring the family to touch a truck from 3 to 5 this Friday, September 29th at the Schweitzer Library, 266 Roswell Street in Marietta. This is a free event and all ages are welcome. Clear the clutter at our next recycling event. Keep Cobb Beautiful is holding a community recycling event from 9 to 1 Saturday, September 30th at Whitewater Six Flags, 250 Cobb Parkway in Marietta. Materials accepted include electronics, metals, textiles, and plastics. They will not be accepting documents for shredding, sharps, needles, medications, paint, hazardous waste, glass, carpet, mattresses, or car seats. For more information and a complete list of accepted and non-accepted items, visit keepcobbbeautiful.org. There's also flyers in the lobby there on the table for all these events that are being announced as well. I think we've already been over the Cobb 911, thank you. And we also are saying to save the date for a ride with the Blue in October. Cobb's Police presents Cool Cars and Cobb's Car Show, a charity event that assists the Community Affairs Unit and SWAT Santa with purchasing and providing gifts for children and families who experience financial hardships during the holiday season. This year's event will be held from noon to 4 on Saturday, October 7th at the Cobb Public Safety Training Center, 2435 East-West Connector in Austell. This event is free to the public. There's a $20 fee per vehicle entry. For more information, registration, and donations, you can contact carrie.grimstead@cobbcounty.org or joseph.mccloskey@cobbcounty.org. And Saturday, October 7th, what did I say, September?
No, you're good.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Saturday, October 7th, Holy Trinity Evangelical Lutheran Church at 2922 Sandy Plains Road invites you to their 12th annual Oktoberfest from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Come and enjoy German food, a live polka band, craft fair, horseshoe tournament, and a kids area with bouncy houses, face painting, and more. Bring canned food for Must Ministries Food Pantry in place of an entry fee, $3 or 3 cans for each child, $7 or 7 cans for each adult, or $20 for 20 cans or a family, for a family. And then last Friday at the Tim D. Lee Senior Center, we celebrated the 27th anniversary. It was this is the oldest and the first senior center in Cobb. And the theme was Georgia on My Mind. Victoria, our director there, is from the country of Georgia. And of course, we live in Georgia. So the theme was Georgia on My Mind. And we had dancing from the country of Georgia. We had music from the state of Georgia. It was a great experience and fun for all. And the food was great. And I'd just like to say thank you to Victoria and her team, Jatan Gibson, our director, and Awana over our senior centers, and all the sponsors that help make this possible for all of our seniors to enjoy. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner. We'll now hear from Commissioner Sheffield.
Thank you. District 4 news and updates. The North Georgia State Fair continues at Jim Miller Park through Sunday, October 1st. This year's fair has live music, petting barns, flower shows, food, and one of the largest carnival midways in the nation. Thrill seekers can look forward to rides like the Wildcat roller coaster, Georgia Mountain Lift, and the Mega Slide. Jim R. Miller Park is located at 2245 Callaway Road in Marietta. Admission is $10 for anyone over the age of 10 and free for those under 10. For more information, visit northgeorgiastatefair.com. Join me for District 4's monthly In the Zone community meeting on Wednesday, tomorrow, September 27th at 7 p.m. I will recap and discuss September and October zoning cases. As you can see, October is going to be packed with zoning cases for District 4. We have 12 that are up for review. Our monthly In the Zone community meetings are a great way to learn firsthand about zoning applications and potential development in your community. Please email monique.sheffield@cobbcounty.org for the meeting link. Hope to see you there. The South Cobb Regional Library in Mableton will host 2 helpful and fun events on Friday, September 29th. Partnered with Project You First, the library will host a hygiene product donation drive from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Acceptable donation items include washcloths, soap, toothbrushes, toothpaste, Ziploc bags, and bottled water. For a complete list of items, visit cobbcounty.org or call 678-398-5831. Also, at the library, add to the vibe all through fall from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., daily with the positive tree. Adults and children are encouraged to add to the fall foliage by leaving positive notes of affirmation and compliments on a positive tree. Simply write something nice and hang it on the tree to uplift and boost the spirit of others. Writing your inspiring words on leaves available for pickup at the reference desk. To take some positivity with you, just take a leaf from the tree. Feel free to submit or take more than one. For more information, please contact Nakisha McNeil at 678-398-5831. The Word of Faith Community Health Fair will be from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday, September 30th at the Riverside Epicenter located at 135 Riverside Parkway in Austell. The health fair, the first by the organization since the COVID-19 pandemic, is set to be a comprehensive and educational event for the community. It features nearly 60 exhibitors, offering a wide range of services and resources to promote well-being and healthy living. There will be a medical screenings, nutritional tips, mental health resources, senior care information, children activities, music, and speakers on various health-related topics. Admission is free. For more information, visit woffamily.org or contact Dr. Christopher Boyd at 770-693-3755 or cboyd@woffamily.org. And lastly, join Cobb County Police for its annual community forum. You will learn about various programs and initiatives within the department. Further discussion will include the Police Athletic League, precision policing through technology, as well as highlights of a major crimes case. The community event will be held on Tuesday, October 10th from 6:30 to 8 p.m. in the auditorium at the Public Safety Training Facility located at 2435 East-West Connector in Austell. And that concludes my event.
Thank you, Commissioner. And finally, for this evening, I'll provide an update of some things that have occurred and are upcoming. We are currently in Hispanic Heritage Month, and I'm grateful to have celebrated with the Georgia Hispanic Chamber at their 50 Most Influential Leaders program, where we had First Lady Jill Biden attend and also Senator Ossoff. And also our Galeo organization had an event here, and they celebrated, I believe, their 20th anniversary of service. You can go to our next slide. September signifies Emergency Preparedness Month, and I'm pleased that today we had a presentation from our Emergency Management Director. I want to encourage all of our families and our residents to make sure that they have plans in place for an emergency that can happen at your home. And for larger emergencies or broader emergencies that can occur here with our county or within our county, we have a community emergency response team that you can volunteer for. This program is a 24-hour training opportunity where citizens can learn how to help our county in a variety of issues, whether it's for search and rescue, damage assessment, for when we have storms, shelter support, EMA disaster, and also help with communications. We have 2 more classes that will be offered this month. The first series of classes, each of the days are 8-hour days, and it will start October 14th and be held on the 21st and 28th. And then the following class after that is going to be held November 4th, 11th, and 18th. And there is a QR code here on the screen for those who would like to link to more information. Oh, just this past week, Commissioner Burrell and I had the great opportunity to see a graduation of Judge Granis's Gang Prevention Specialty Court. This court is within our juvenile court system, and we had opportunity to hear about the transformation of 7 lives who participated within that program, and we also saw them get their records sealed for their offenses. We're pleased that they've had mentorship through that program and are positive and contributing citizens of Cobb County. Also, I'm happy to have participated in the appreciation event for volunteers with CASA. CASA is a volunteer program that helps juveniles that have experienced abuse or neglect here within our county, and there is a special appointed advocate that helps that child through that process. You have opportunity to volunteer through this program. You can go online and just search Cobb County CASA to see how you can be a part of this dynamic program. And pictured on the right, we have Chief Judge of Juvenile Court, Judge Hamby. I'd like to welcome new additions to my team. Here with us tonight and also pictured on the screen is my new Chief Assistant, Sana Mazim. We're so grateful to have you. You've just been able to jump right in. And also we've added Arjo Turner, who's been very active in the community, and she's assisting my office with project management. I'd like to recognize that on Monday we concluded Yom Kippur, which many of our citizens do recognize. It's one of the most holiest days within the Jewish community, and we hope that you had a reflectful time during that period. Also want to make sure that I thank Dr. McMorris and our directors for putting on a fantastic event this past weekend to celebrate our employees. We have about 4,500 employees here in Cobb County that help to keep our county running and to make it as great as it is. And so this was our small way of saying thank you. Well, not so small, because there were some significant prizes that were being raffled off for our citizens, but we just want to make sure we say thank you. There are a lot of people that we do see during these meetings, but there are a lot of people that we don't see that are contributing to the success of our county every day. And we want you to know that we appreciate you, we value you, and we look forward to also celebrating you this Wednesday evening, where we'll have the second day of this event. Yeah. Want to say goodbye to my summer intern, Mr. Donovan DeWitt. He is a graduate here from Cobb County and is now in his first year at Georgia Tech, which is the alma mater of both Commissioner Richardson and myself. We are pleased that he's added tremendous support to our office by way of communications and social media, and we hope that he has an excellent experience at Georgia Tech, and hopefully he'll come back and intern with us again. With that, I would like to say thank you for being a part of tonight's meeting, and to those who are tuning in. And we hope that you will join us for our next Board of Commissioners meeting, which will be on October 10th. During that meeting, we will have our first public hearing regarding our code amendment package. Our code is what is our local government law that applies here in Cobb County, and the changes or amendments to that code are posted online. I'd like to encourage you to please check out the code that's provided. They cover a variety of topics, two which are continuing that I'd like to make note of. One is our noise ordinance that you've been asking for us to put in place, and there is a draft of a code update to our noise ordinance. And also we have an update to our short-term rental ordinance, which I know has been of interest to many of you. But there are others that are in there, and I encourage you to check that out. With that, we're adjourned and hope everyone has a safe trip home and a great evening. Thank you.